My husband left me for my sister, then begged for a second chance. This happened 3 years ago, and even now it feels like something out of a movie. I'm a 31-year-old woman from Manchester. At the time, I had been married to my husband, Daniel, for 6 years. We had a comfortable life, a small house, decent jobs, and I genuinely thought we were happy. My younger sister, Chloe, had always been the family favorite. Growing up, she could do no wrong. If she forgot someone's birthday, it was because she was busy. If I forgot, I was selfish. I learned to live with it. What I never expected was that my husband would become part of that pattern too. It started innocently enough. Chloe had broken up with her boyfriend and needed somewhere to stay for a few weeks. Daniel suggested we help her. I agreed. At first, everything seemed normal. The three of us watched movies together. We had dinner together. Nothing felt strange. Then little things started happening. Every time I walked into a room, conversations would stop. They laughed at private jokes I didn't understand. Daniel suddenly became obsessed with helping Chloe with everything. Her car, her finances, her job applications. I noticed it, but whenever I mentioned it, Daniel acted offended. She's your sister. You're imagining things. Why are you being paranoid? So I convinced myself I was overthinking. Then one afternoon I came home early from work. I wasn't supposed to be there. I walked into my living room and found them sitting extremely close together on the sofa. The second they saw me, they jumped apart. That feeling in my stomach told me everything, but I still wanted proof. Over the next few weeks I paid attention. I checked our phone bill, hundreds of calls, thousands of texts, most while I was asleep, most while I was at work. When I confronted Daniel, he exploded. He accused me of invading his privacy. He called me controlling. Then he left the house. The next day my sister left too. 3 days later I got my answer. My mother called me crying. Apparently Daniel and Chloe had confessed they were in love. Not only that, they wanted the family's blessing. I felt physically sick. The betrayal wasn't just from my husband. It was from my entire family. My parents told me I should try to understand. My sister said people can't help who they love. Daniel said he never meant to hurt me. Imagine hearing that from the two people who destroyed your marriage. I filed for divorce immediately. For months afterward, I barely functioned. I lost weight. I stopped going out. I avoided friends. Meanwhile, Daniel and Chloe were posting happy photos online, family holidays, date nights, engagement pictures. My own relatives were commenting with heart emojis. I felt like I had become the villain in my own story. Then karma slowly started showing up. First, Daniel lost his job, nothing dramatic. His company downsized, but suddenly their dream lifestyle became difficult. Then Chloe quit her job because she wanted to become an influencer. That didn't work out either. Money became a problem, big problem. The expensive apartment they rented became unaffordable. The holidays stopped. The smiling social media posts stopped. The arguments started. Mutual friends told me they fought constantly. Trust became an issue. Funny how two people who betray someone together eventually start wondering if they'll betray each other too. About a year after the divorce, I met someone. His name was Oliver. We met completely by accident at a bookstore. He noticed I was carrying 3 novels from the same author and started a conversation. That conversation turned into coffee. Coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into a relationship. For the first time in years, I felt safe. Oliver wasn't flashy. He wasn't dramatic. He was simply kind. He listened. He showed up when he said he would. He respected boundaries. He never made me question my worth. 2 years later, he proposed. I said yes. A few weeks before our wedding, I received a message from Daniel. The first message in nearly 2 years. He said he wanted to talk. Against my better judgment, I agreed. When we met, he looked exhausted, older, defeated. Then he told me something unbelievable. He and Chloe had broken up. Apparently she'd been seeing another man for months. Daniel had discovered everything. He was devastated. I almost laughed. The man who cheated on me was now crying because he had been cheated on. Then came the part that shocked me most. He asked if we could try again. He said leaving me was the biggest mistake of his life. He said I was the best thing that ever happened to him. He said he'd never stopped loving me. I looked at him for a long moment. Then I asked one question. Did you ever think about me when you were with my sister? He couldn't answer. That silence told me everything. I stood up, I thanked him, and I wished him luck. Then I walked away. A month later, I married Oliver. My wedding day was everything my first marriage wasn't. Peaceful, honest, real, no lies, no betrayal. No drama, just love. Last year, we welcomed our first child. Meanwhile, Chloe moved to another city. Daniel still occasionally sends messages that I never answer. The funny thing is, I don't hate either of them anymore. Life already handled that part. The greatest revenge wasn't ruining their lives. The greatest revenge was building a better one for myself. And every morning when I wake up next to someone who truly loves me, I'm reminded that sometimes karma doesn't arrive as punishment. Sometimes it arrives as a second chance. And that's exactly what happened to me.